Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. We're taking you around the NFT and Web3 industry and hopefully under 1 hour and hopefully alive at the end of it. So I'm excited for this talk here with my friends. Some big news popping out of some major IP brands like Disney. We also had some like local news happening that broke overnight. So excited for all of the above. I also want to show off this piece, although there's a little bit of a backstory to this, but we got the 8Fest merch, boys. 8Fest Hong Kong merch coming through, but not necessarily. Fast. Yeah, I got the. I'm wearing one as well. I didn't order this though. I ordered the bait. I ordered the Bored Ape with the Bape logo, and I got this. So I don't know if that means they're not gonna come through with the Bape one that I ordered, but they delivered something.
Did you get a receipt? Like, did it show?
Yeah, I mean, I got a receipt here. I need to, kind of cross check. Yeah, we'll see, because I spent $120 on that Babe tee, and it did confirm. I just haven't got it shipped yet. All right, enough around that. I do want to touch on my co-host here. We're going to start with Biggie Poppins and then make our way to still the man of the hour with Coffins here with Gifdead. But Biggie, how are you doing today, brother? What's going on?
Dude, I'm doing great. Lots of announcements coming up, on the timeline. Just they don't stop, and the main type of announcement that it's just got me so pumped is just like people like shipping, like these projects that we've been following through the bear. Might have bags were down in the beginning, like they're shipping. Like all these things are like it's gonna be such a different bull market once this launches, and it's great. And then watching our co-host over here just ship coffins day and night. It's a labor intensive fucking process, dude. So massive congrats to that. Even though like he prevented us from getting those first tokens.
Now that I think about it, this is what I feel about it. Now, I've been thinking Jessica Yatrovsky actually works with Nifty Kit, and she got number 1 and 2. So there's some controversy around this drop that you're gonna have coming your way here, Gif.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted. He doesn't even want to talk about it. You see, he doesn't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I think she's smart. I think she's very smart. She had insight into exactly when it would go live. She knew, and she wanted them, and she pulled the trigger. I told everybody it would be going live at 7 p.m. It did go live at 7 p.m. or a minute or two sooner. I was literally pushing the art live last minute, just trying to get it live at 7 p.m. And look, Easy almost got it. Easy got token 2, 3, and 4 because he was there waiting and saw it pop up with the free mint. So it could have been Easy.
It's deflecting. I'm saying this. All right.
She just because she was working with Nifty Kit and knew it would be going live around that time and happened. She had the website up and was ready, and then decided to take the action to mint them.
Nick, I see you paging Zach. Paging Zach XPC. We gotta get her on.
Look. And I'm just stoked that token 1 is fucking beautiful. Token 1 is beautiful, man. Yeah. And that's the coolest thing is seeing people generate the art, because they are generated in real time. When you mint, you take the action, you create on Ethereum a totally unique coffin piece of art. And it's fucking so cool that it launched, and they're looking great. They're looking better than I thought. And I'm just so excited. There's over 200 now. I'll pull it up really. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it. And I also want to like the community reaction. Like Swervis had it as his PFP as well. So you're going to see like here on X, everybody's kind of posting. So Pink, I love Pink Belugas. Shout out to Pink there over in the Oni ecosystem. You see a lot of different people posting their boxes. Bobby-san as well. Everybody, this is sick. Jack's Hideaway got an awesome coffin here.
Spiderweb top is sick. That looks so dope. And yeah, there's a lot of really clean ones, but there's a mix of rare ones. And yeah, 207 minted. So the allow list is live now until tomorrow at 1 p.m. PST. And then at 2 p.m. tomorrow, the public mint starts. Going to be extremely affordable, just $9. You can mint as many as you want, and it'll be open until December 14th. But right now, if you're on the allow list, you should just go to the website. So I can drop that in the chat over here. You should just go see if you can mint, because over 5,000 wallets, including all the Oni Force and all the DBs fam are on it. So you should just go see if you can mint. And if not, go DM me on Twitter. Send me your wallet addresses if you would like to get 2 free claims during the allow list window. DM me now, because I'm going to push an update with a few people, a few more wallets today in the next hour or 2. So if you are not on the allow list, go check, see if you can mint. If not, and you want to be on it, hit me up in the DMs now. Let me know, because in the next hour or 2, I'm going to push an update to the allow list that lets you get in on this pre-sale window before the public sale tomorrow at 2 p.m.
All right, so we are going to be covering a majority of the space, including the Coffins drop and the experience over there on Nifty Kit, because I think all around, everyone that got in, we were doing a spaces last night, but even those folks that were commenting on X were saying, like, this is a great experience. Like, the reveals are almost instant, pretty much. Yeah. And I didn't have any problems with it.
No
either.
way.
Like, you had to pay gas. The only thing that was an issue was Ethereum gas, which you really can't get around if you want to be on the granddaddy chain. Or grandmother. I don't know which. I don't want any of you Bitcoin ordies coming over here to me and telling me that it's not the granddaddy chain, but you get what I mean. Anyways, Michael saying first time live. Sup everyone. It's good to see you, brother. Jack's Hideaway. What's the total mint supply on Coffins going to be, if any?
Yeah. So great question. It is open gen. What that means is it is an open generative art collection. I don't cap the supply. It just closes at a certain point. So the mint will open to the public tomorrow at 2 p.m. PST, and then it will close on December 13th at midnight, and then it's closed forever, and the supply is locked. So however many mints, it's up to y'all to determine the total supply of it. I don't know.
Okay, so I think these are my favorite versions of the Coffins here, where we have kind of the muted background that also has the signature. And then really this looks, and I think Easy was the one that brought it up, but this almost looks like a portal. It's almost looking like you're looking through the coffin into the sky. It's pretty
nice. Dude, I fucking love that. And yes, ancient civilizations believed that your sarcophagus or your, what you were entombed in was a portal. And so they would imbue them with different things. A lot of really, like if you look at ancient Egyptian sarcophaguses, I mean, they're beautiful works of art. And a lot of times it would fill these tombs and the sarcophaguses themselves with different gold, different symbols, all of this to usher you into the next phase, right?
I love
that's absolutely part of the themes or the motifs that I'm playing with, is this idea that a coffin is so much more than just what it's been reduced to, and can indeed be looked at as a portal to other realms, other phases of life, other universes, or just a new step in a long story of humanity.
All right, the last thing I want as far as details is how long is this staying open? You might have just said it, but I was clicking around. So how long is it open for?
1 month. So December 13th at midnight, that's when it closes. Again, public sale starts tomorrow at 2 p.m. Closes December 13th at midnight forever, and then that's when the total supply is locked. So I don't know.
All right, Biggie, as fast as he can. Q. It's a labor-intensive process. It takes a lot of time to sand them down, and
Yep.
I'm hearing that there might be one digiphysical piece in all of this. So that's what I heard there. Anyway,
there's no digiphysical anything with coffins. There might be a phygital piece. There might be a phygital piece. No, there's definitely nothing digiphysical about coffins.
All right, here's today's episode of NFT Live, guys. We are still sharing the show out to get the max amount of people in here. So we're going to be doing that for like the next 30 seconds. But you can see right there, smack dab in the middle of this thumbnail is the Disneyland resort there, the castle, if you will. So Disney probably had the biggest announcement of the day, although it's going, I think part of the conversation is that it's going under the radar, which it seems to be the case on Flow blockchain in general. Whenever Flow puts anything out, it doesn't seem like the Ethereum community has any appetite for talking about that, let alone what the Ordinals community. I guarantee they don't even know what the hell's going on Flow blockchain. But what's up, Biggie?
I'm curious, can we do the check on like their regular, this Disney Pinnacle, I imagine, is not their primary handle.
Ooh, this check.
We need to run the test. Are they posting it? Are they repping it in their legit account, or are they just kind of like?
Okay, I love this question.
There's no way.
Don't cheat. Okay, do not.
There's no way.
Listen.
Don't cheat.
Do not go to the profile. We're going to run a poll. I don't know if Prodigy's here, so I'm going to actually run the poll myself. Do you think that the major Disney profile is actually repping this move? I'm going to go with no, and I'm going to vote so.
I go with no. I'm voting for Prodigy. Prodigy would say no fucking way.
Okay. All right. So we got already 3 no's up here from the co-host. Also, shout out to Huda, who could not make it today. I'm sure he will get here tomorrow. All right. I'm dropping this poll, by the way. Gif, what's your take here?
There's no way that Disney from their main accounts would own Web3 and NFTs publicly yet. There's just no way. They got to dip their toes in the water, probably go through a million different stakeholders and bureaucratic processes just to even get the Pinnacles sub-brand established and get some people okay with it. There's no way in hell Disney is going to go out. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, man. Like, literally,
you never know.
Already ran a show. I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, I'm going to leave that poll open for the next 30 seconds. I'm going to continue, again, my sharing spree here. You guys do the same. I'll drop the link for you. The other stories that I've got on tap for the day, other than Disney here, are going to be talking very quickly about this XRP piece. XRP ran like 10-15% yesterday on notice that there was another BlackRock, but a trust entity filing that was fake. So that's the update there. Parallel is making more and more waves here. We're going to touch on Parallel. NFT volumes from last week. I wish we did have Huda here because I called him out in the GM Web3 show on some of the takes that he's had been being spot on, including the Blur airdrop that is seemingly upcoming here at the end of the month.
Can you bring up the link I sent you in the private chat? Because speaking of airdrops, this one is the one that I'd like to put all you DGens on the radar. I think you're going to be blocked if you're in the States, unfortunately. But Pythia, it's got a retrospective airdrop. If you've transacted, you might want to check, see if you are capable of claiming that. I think it's like around 15K to 2200K. So definitely worth your while. Check it out. NFA, DYOR, don't speckle, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, we'll get to this don't speckle here in a moment. We should hit that definitely. So would I have needed to already interact on the Pyth network to receive this?
No, I think you can check Solana, wallets, and I'm not sure if you can do ETH because I know some people are having trouble with the, using a VPN. I'm seriously considering hopping in my car and driving south and checking out some stuff.
I'm not going to say anything live, but maybe we could talk about this after. It's probably a more efficient way to do that, Biggie. All right, Solana activity, EVM activity, Aptos, SWI, Injective, Osmosis, Neutron, Say activity, and Discord activity. Interesting. Okay, so that looks to be the eligibility for that airdrop. We will drop
competitor to Link,
Oracles,
Heck, and pretty serious. So like, it's not a shit coin. If you're able to claim it, I would highly suggest you do so.
NFA.
Right. NFA.
All right, let's hit him with the traditional NFA here, and then we'll get to some of the chat. Gifdead, what do we got?
It's important, friends, to always remember one thing. Well, 2 things. First thing to remember is that digiphysical is nonsense, and phygital is a better use of your energy, your syllables, and your words. The second thing is that this is not financial advice. It never was and never will be until we get those successful test scores back, of course. But at least for now, do not forget that all of this should be not misconstrued as financial advice. And you should always do your own research. This is just public info that we found on the interwebs and talking about cool shit on the internet. We have to say it. We have to remind everybody for your safety and ours. Thank you.
All right, guys, do not speckle on anything that's called GROK either. That is very dangerous territory unless you know what you're doing. All right. Here's what I got. We're going to jump right into this Disney story, but right before that, Parallel has been winning, and they just put out an announcement 45 minutes ago that is related to what you're seeing on this channel, because I'm going to be streaming my ass off on Parallel this week. Look at this announcement. We will select 3 of the most active Parallel TCG streamers this week and award them 300 Prime each. The Prime token is $5. They're giving $1,500 for a week's worth of streaming here. They're going to pick 3 winners. So if you see me on the channel streaming Prime, I might be doing some giveaways, trying to get folks in to the channel. And I'm going to be trying to win this, man. Parallel's been absolutely killing it. We're going to jump into what they've got going on later in the week here in just a moment. But they just keep rolling out W's.
Yeah.
All right, we will get into the major portion of the episode here. The biggest story of the day is going to be Disney Pinnacle. You can see here from this main account. Oh, should we close the poll? Let's close the poll and check if Disney did this. So 78% of you said no, Disney would not be pushing Disney Pinnacle.
I mean, they're calling it the Pinnacle, okay? Let's just remember that. Now, let's see what happens.
All right, is it Disney Plus? Like, what is even... Walt Disney Company? Let's just try all of them.
Plus and Walt Disney Company should no. Ooh.
Oh, that was close. Yep, nothing from Disney Plus. What else are we searching here?
The Walt Disney Company, the one that that should be.
Okay, we got Disney. Here's the here 10.4 milli. Did they get out?
Ooh,
21 hours ago.
I don't feel like it doesn't feel very pinnacly to me.
No, it does not look like. Nope.
Yep.
Not a chance.
Nice try, Web3.
Yeah.
You fucking degens. You think we're going to talk about you?
We're still the redheaded stepchildren of media.
We tried, folks.
Dude, Marty's comments, bro. Oh my god.
This is why we aren't featured.
Yeah, this is literally why Web3 is not getting attention from the Disney main accounts. Oh god.
All right, let's go to a Disney account that is talking about Web3 here. I'm going to try to pull up Disney Pinnacle in this announcement that came this morning. So there's a little bit of a trailer. I don't think that there's 18 seconds of a Disney trailer. I'll eat that up here all day long. Let's check it out.
Oh my god.
No volume.
Come on. Pin.
No sound on it.
Yeah, there's absolutely no sound being piped in here.
I mean,
you'd think being Disney, they'd have a sound engineer or two to spare,
yeah.
for
all right.
Fucking clip.
So let me read this off here, and then Sammy did an absolutely gigantic thread on this that we can dive into. But be the first to chase, collect, and trade digital pins featuring characters you love only on Disney Pinnacle. You go into the site, and it clearly displays 3 prominent IPs. That's going to be Walt Disney, so all the characters you know from the Disney franchises, as well as Pixar and Star Wars. I have to talk about this up front. Disney has done a Web3, or Disney IP has shown up in Web3 before. Platforms like VV and a couple others have been able to get the licensed IP from Disney themselves and roll out different collectibles. This is a Disney platform, though, and it is rolling out on Flow. So this is the big announcement. There is a wait list open for this, so you guys can hop in here. I'll drop the link. What do you guys think about this release here?
Is Flow a layer? It's its own blockchain, right? Yeah, it's its own layer 1. So, I mean, one thing that I'm just thinking about is the larger landscape and ecosystem for these types of Web 2.5 platforms, because that's what I feel like. This is like the Starbucks Odyssey stamps, right? You're collecting pins. They're going to have their own platform of some kind. I guess that's what Pinnacle probably is, built on Flow. And, they'll be able to integrate different types of rewards, activations, community points, or cool things using this. So I'm just thinking about, okay, we've got Polygon, Flow now becoming a major contender. Optimism just sniped the biz dev guy from Polygon. And then you've got Base. Those are kind of the 4 play, and Arbitrum, I guess. I don't know any big brands there, but like those 4, at least Optimism, Base, Polygon, Flow now feel like the Web 2.5 brand chains right now. I don't know. That's one thing that I'm thinking of. The pin thing, honestly, like it doesn't get me that excited. They're clearly speaking to they're trying to find where's the overlap between our like OG Disney nerds, like the people that fucking really love collecting all the Disney memorabilia and like the actual pins from the Disney parks in real life. And where does that overlap into NFTs and Web3? They're trying to target a very, very small niche right now. But that might grow as more people come in, and Flow is definitely trying to be more accessible using credit cards and all that type of shit. Maybe that niche grows because there is a ton of Disney folks and they'll start to discover digital collectibles through a platform and a project and a brand like Disney. So the pins doesn't really do it for me, but I've never been the Disney nerd that like collects Disney memorabilia. Ooh. So
that's it. So, okay. Oh, all right. So first of all, do you want to be right or do you want to make money a little bit here, right? Like you're talking about collecting like actual Star Wars IP, not like this VV knockoff collectible. This is from Disney themselves.
Oh, there's going to be Star Wars too. Oh, it's going to be all Disney, not just, okay. All right. But I mean, okay, let me, that's good. And so, yes, there will be cool shit. And I think you're right. It doesn't like, I don't have to like it to collect it and make money off of it. I'm just saying, I don't get excited by pins very much. So I would only be there to speculate on Disney collectibles, not because I really love pins.
All right, Biggie is interested in this conversation. What's up, dude? Because you look like you wanted to talk there.
Yeah, like I agree with Cat's Fanatic as well. Like, I mean, fading it. I just give them a fucking email and see how it works out and what the hell this thing is gonna be. I do wonder again, like to me, it's not only that I'm not into pins, it's like really like, so I'm gonna spend tokens, Web3 tokens to buy merch again. Like there's no hint about like
exactly
it being chipped, having some functionality, maybe some AR, something, you know, like that's different.
I think it'll be digital
because you know Disney is so global in its scope and in its collectibles, you know. And if you have like Steamboat Willie prints from back in the day, those are worth a pretty penny, right? But if you're gonna come into the Web3 space and you're just gonna sell pins, like I can't like the first thing that came to my mind was like Crocs, you know, like they've made a fortune selling those little pins that you put on the Crocs, but I'm sure Disney has those already, right? Like to think that like what are you gonna do to make people ravenous over these freaking pins, right? Like how limited are they gonna be? And again, since you're bringing it into Web3, it's like, do you have any consideration into like how that's going to play into the Web3 ecosystem, or are you once again just being a cash grab selling merch? And God, I hate, like, yes, I'll freaking give them my email. I'd really prefer not to spend anything on this, unfortunately, but let's see what they come up with. I'm not thrilled about it, to be honest.
Yeah, so I dropped there in chat. Sammy put out a great thread here on the Pinnacles, like kind of producing a little bit of a TLDR for you guys that want to, you know, kind of know more about this. But you can see there, offering digital pin-inspired collectibles minted as NFTs on the Flow blockchain. It reminds me a little bit of the Starbucks activation. That's what I see here. When at first glance, I'm like, okay, larger IP, trying to maybe get a little bit more involved in the digital space and try to like build up a community there. What that looks like, God knows. I think that, you know, Star Wars in this being, again, I go back to the fact that this is from Disney. This is not VV licensing or anything like that. It's from Disney. So I think there will be a hot market for this. Biggie, the other convo we were having too, Gif, go ahead first.
Well, I agree. Yeah, I said Starbucks too. I think Starbucks is a great example. And I think to your point, because it is Disney brand, it's not a license. I think they will probably put more attention into trying to actually provide some kind of community activations, rewards, values, things to it. So we don't actually know yet. It might just be dumb merch, dumb digital collectibles that don't really do very much. But like Starbucks is putting a lot of effort into trying to create a cool community product over there and generate new ways to connect with the brand and get different values and learn and do cool things. I think Disney's probably going to follow that model and try and actually create a more unique community experience here, hopefully.
Okay, the other combo that I wanted to have here as well is around flow, right? Because Biggie, me and you were talking pre-episode about how, and then we brought this in GM Web3 as well. It doesn't seem like anybody ever gets on the flow train. This is one of the biggest announcements that I've seen in Web3, and everyone's kind of like, cool, maybe we'll see what happens. It's like,
is that still because of Top Shot? It seems like it's probably.
I think there's a lot of different factors. Yeah, in Dapper for the longest time, right? Like Flow, you could even go back to CryptoKitties. Flow's origin has to do with the fact that Dapper crashed Ethereum in 2017. From there, they said, we have to make our own blockchain because what we want to do is create scalable products that a lot of people could use. The issue with that is they've never, and I loved your point, Biggie, so I want you to elaborate, but they've never really listened and latched onto the idea of creating legitimate communities, legitimate Web3 communities.
In spite of having multiple opportunities to do so, right? Like, and I don't know if it's just them being blindsided by the tech and getting the transactions per second and all the throughput bullshit, and getting their tech up to par, or it's the fact that they just completely faded their customers / community. Because honestly, like, there's been phenomenal artists that dropped great pieces in the flow, right? Like, and not to mention Top Shot, which was like their darling. Like, but I've tried, man. I really held on for as long as I could with flow. Literally just bailed like a week and a half ago. I was like, I'll just keep whatever amount here just to, if something like this bullshit pops off. But other than that, I'm kind of done with it, right? And it's unfortunate because there are people, collectors and creators over there that really put in their heart and soul to try to build up a community. And not once did we ever see Dapper Labs like inject any type of, whether it's like just goodwill, shout them out, inject some kind of funds or liquidity for them. Nothing. So in my opinion, like, it's going to be a really hard lift to bring people back. Disney, be damned.
You know what? It's interesting to hear that take because I bet that's a big component to it. And we can look now also at OpenSea. OpenSea is tanking. And it's largely because they've abused their position within the community. They haven't really done a good job of shepherding the community and taking care of the community and the artists. Yes, they've tried different things and they've definitely said a lot of things. They've said things. But if you actually look at the net result of how the community has been doing, or how the community feels about the way that OpenSea has been operating, it's not good. And now they're in a really tough spot. And yeah, maybe Dapper's a similar situation where it's like they had a really awesome position. They were given plenty of opportunities, but they didn't really focus enough on rewarding and supporting the community around them. And they were too much focused on the bottom line. End of the day, I think it's good. I think it is actually good because it shows some level of accountability in the space. When companies focus entirely on bottom line, try and cash grab too much, don't balance that out with enough sort of positive community activation, rewards, incentives, whatever that is, or just enough ways to really support the community around them. I think people see that and they react to it.
All right, so here's what I want you guys to do. We're getting a ton of comments. I'm going to touch on some of them, but there's been so many, and we really haven't shouted out the community yet. So definitely, guys, hit on one that you'd like. Let me go through back to the beginning here. A lot of coffin love from Easy, from Nick Swervis, CSP, Justin Casey saying Disney on Flow, kind of big considering the cult-like following Disney has. Jack's Hideaway, Nick's is in the house, Marty McFly. Who else? Jack's Hideaway, Asmodai, DP, what's poppin', you miscreants. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, DP. And let's see, Cat's Fanatic bringing in some good comments. So guys, I definitely want to touch on this. And then Swerve is saying that Roham's burner is going to pick up that #1 legendary holographic Luke. That's a great callback. Kerry Ross, nice to see you. Squash as well. Guys, let's hit on some comments. Do you see any that you want to touch on?
I agree with that other factor that Nick's mentioned there, that like I do think Web3 and just since Bitcoin, right? Like the ethos has that undercurrent of counterculture, of being like rebels. And so yes, big conglomerates like Disney have a very tall mountain to climb when it comes to trying to get people's, and I wonder if that's the reason they chose Flow, because I'd love to know what the thought process was in convincing these people to be like, no, you need to launch on Flow out of all these other fucking like where all the liquidity, where all the communities are. No, man, you need to focus on this shit one. Like honestly,
it has to be the success they had with Top Shot. At least the initial success is a product they can point to.
Far and away in a distant galaxy with really shitty outcomes
nice call out.
At the end, like, right? Like, no, man.
Yeah. Roam doing seemingly a great job. I mean, this to me is a huge moment for Flow. Like Doodles, I think, put out an announcement maybe 6 months ago that was not well received. I'm trying to think of the last thing. They have come out and said, hey, we're going to do more on Top Shot to limit the supply and all this stuff. They're trying to kind of tweak Top Shot, their best product.
Yeah, but I think the initial reactions that we had were that with this recent Top Shot launch, it doesn't seem like they learned all that much. Like, again, like they've been saying this and that, and yeah, they might be introducing a few new mechanics that are positive, but like, I don't know. Let us know. I haven't been collecting on Top Shot. I'm purely an outside spectator trying to my best to understand what's going on over there and take what everybody's been saying and what we've been seeing. But it doesn't seem to me like they really changed all that much.
And like I agree with what Nix is harping on here again, like the UX, which comes down to their fucking wallet, right? Where you can, like everybody forever. Like, is that talking point still valid today? Where you have wallets like, Phantom and other protocols that accept like cross-chain purchases. Like, is it really that an argument to favor it to this day? Like, oh, you can pay with your credit card. Like, that's nothing new anymore, is it? And from what I remember, like they make you KYC on top of it. It's just mind-blowing. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it offers, like, I'm sure the tech, the back end, the experience, whatever, offers them certain controls as well, because it's more centralized. It is Web 2.5.
So the other issue here, and then we'll just cap this off with any last takes, but the other issue is how far removed Flow is from the Ethereum ecosystem. Like you mentioned Base, GIF, you mentioned even Polygon. Like these are chains that are really tied into the ETH ecosystem. It's very easy to move to and from. I mean, it takes 5 seconds to get money onto Base. We saw this moving from Ethereum to Base for on-chain summer with Parallel and Friendtech. It was super easy. Flow is not that easy, and they're not tied in. They're much more like Solana than they are Polygon or Base. But Solana has this really entrenched community that Flow does not have and has not been able to do. So they're really in no man's land, right? They don't have a Solana ecosystem, and they're not tied into Ethereum. So it's like, holy shit, what's going to happen here? Any last takes? I like it, Biggie. I think this is a really big announcement overall, and it also for the reputation of the space. I know Disney didn't retweet it from their account and all that stuff, but this is a Disney product, and it's
I agree. I just hope they're ready to promote it themselves, because Flow isn't going to do dick for it. So that I know.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, it's a good point, but that's also why it's important for them to actually own it and not just treat it like it's some weird little side experiment. Because it makes me much less bullish and interested in playing around there if they don't fully adopt it and support it. Because we've seen it before. Zynga's the one sort of outlier that hasn't really fully owned their Web3 initiative yet that we know about, that's actually doing a good job. But if they're just going to treat it like this is a cash grab, a chance to make some more money off of merch and IP and not actually really invest in the community, then it's just extractive. Don't give a shit.
Great takes, and great takes from the comment section as well. Let's move on into another product. And this is going to be around Parallel. And we're not going to spend much time. I just want to kind of very briefly kind of go over the latest updates. I mean, they've been one of the biggest winners in the last 2 weeks as well on this little mini bull that we've had, or at least had. But here you can see one of the biggest announcements here, Parallel Proof for the Epic Game Store. This got everybody 100% into a hubbub. This was awesome to see as well. They had on the roadmap for a while that, hey, we're going to increase the faucet here for Prime tokens towards the community that's playing it. So you could say today we're implementing a substantial increase of Prime per ranked win. So you're earning more Prime for playing Parallel. So that's huge. Another piece that they added, I shared at the beginning of the episode, they're going to pick 3 streamers this week to give $1,500 to, just for this week alone.
I got to get back in and start playing, man. I got to get back in and start playing, even if I'm getting my ass kicked in ranked, just to try and farm some Prime, because yeah, they're fucking killing it, bro.
Yeah, and here's the other thing though, what that does the NFTs, right? Because you need the NFTs to get the most amount of Prime. So that's going to be the piece that I'm watching, because I didn't buy as much NFTs as I would have liked.
How many avatars do you have, Q? Oh wait, you already said you have a Cathari. You don't have a Shroud.
I have an Earthen and a Cathari, so I just started playing Cathari in this new season. And then here's their AI what's even, it's not an RTS, it's like a 1.5
player
third party kind of farming. It looks maybe some farming. God, we're doing a terrible job explaining this, but you can see from Kalos the Parallel Colony here, early access to the next generation of gaming.
Dude, this is phenomenal. Look at this cool ass world, bro. It's so hard to do this, to do all these different things well.
Can see some Markolian characters there.
This is so cool, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Mr. Gone and the Parallel team.
So you can see some gameplay here of the colony. I'm still kind of confused on the colony front on if it's just a kind of a farming game. There is a chance to earn Prime there as well. But yeah, Parallel, absolutely one of the biggest winners. I think with the rest of the NFT market, the avatars have come down just a tad. I think they're sitting at like 0.4, maybe a little bit less. But let me make sure I'm doing that. And then Prime fell as well with the general pullback in altcoins that we're seeing here today. So yeah, I would be loaded. Not financial advice. We've said it on Prime at least 18 billion times, but we're underexposed to this day. Big, you got any thoughts on Prime here or Parallel?
I mean, polar opposite feeling from the Disney thing. That's as good as it gets in my book. Just seeing they're doing everything right. Like, I feel like they're doing everything right, and it's apparent, and you're seeing it from the gameplay. Anytime that I'm in a space and it gets mentioned, people say that they can't wait to get back and then play the game. I think the art is fantastic. Like we said, I much prefer the art on the cards than the PFPs, but regardless, like, they're just doing everything right. The marketing, everything like that. More people should study this, and I'm sure they are, like the smart ones at least.
It is interesting that, like, it's not going to be the big projects that really usher in whatever the adoption phase is, right? Like, Courtyard is going to do more for the adoption of real world assets, and maybe even having eventually a Disney than Disney was with Weave.
Yeah,
and we want that, right? Like what were they expecting to happen? Like, the whole reason Bitcoin was invented was because we want to move away from an old, antiquated, clunky, shitty system. Same goes with IP, right? Same goes with it. We want to make our own, define our own culture, define our own games. Like, no, we weren't gonna invent this canvas and then like just have these fucking conglomerates waltz it and ruin it yet again.
Yeah, we're trying to create new models, new experiences, innovate, create new paradigms. So there should be support for these great products that are Web3 native and brands and things that we're doing that are in the space, Web3 native builders.
In line with what we like.
We need both, but this is so exciting because Parallel just got added to like the Epic Store. This is the type of Web3 native project and game and product that actually might have some of that crossover potential to bring in some new people, because it's fucking dope and it's going to get out there to a lot of those quote unquote traditional or Web2 distribution avenues.
Axie was the adoption around Axie was fucking thick when it was happening, but it was very hollow at the same time. This is as close as I've seen to what you're talking about, GIF, where it's like we're pretty close to getting.
It's definitely not hollow. It's deep.
It's deep, and it's authentic, and it's close to that. It's as close to mainstream gaming as I've seen with the token mechanic of the same time.
This is the magic that they're stirring up, that they're putting together, right? They are brewing up a magic concoction that brings together really top quality storytelling, really fucking cool art, awesome technology, cool gaming mechanics, and tokenomics and incentives and economics and actual ways to like create wealth by playing.
Yeah.
Dude, they're stirring all this shit together into a concoction that nobody else I think has done. Because to your point, actually had the economic incentives, but they didn't really have a deep fucking cool game with a world and lore and really awesome art.
Yeah.
They didn't have all that other shit, you know?
It's true. It's true. We're gonna hop out of Parallel here. The last thing I'll say on this, the best way that I think you can enter the ecosystem is probably just through the Prime token. Okay, like if that, and again, this is NFA, all that stuff, but like I would not get into the cards. Like it is a very intricate kind of dance you're playing with the cards, and I really haven't even figured out the replication and whether that's actually profitable, right? Like I should be replicating cards, but there's a Prime token element to it where you have to burn some Prime to actually replicate the card. Is there a market currently for those replications? So the easiest way to get access to the Prime ecosystem, in my opinion, is just Prime. I don't think there is like outright Prime staking that they offer, so that's going to be tough. But at the same time, the fact that they don't offer that staking is probably good because you're not getting that constant drip from just passive. You have to play the game and earn it.
Yeah, I could see them at some point doing the, what's it called, like passive staking, or like where you can self-custodied staking. I could see them doing something like that at some point. You know, I don't imagine it's super hard given all the other things that they've already built to just let people get some kind of staking rewards just for holding in their own wallets or something like that. I don't know.
All right. So two community members throwing out some alfalfa here, potentially. Asmodai saying, looking forward to seeing the next phase in Phantom Galaxies. Alpha was good gameplay. God, listen, Asmodai, if Phantom Galaxies goes well, I'm going to look. I cannot wait to see that project pop off, because if they do, I'm really excited. Cats Fanatics saying Valyria is doing it. You just don't know it yet. So Valyria, actually, he brought up as well.
Yeah. I was looking. I followed through with it's Huda's friend, and he was really kind to send me that link, and I checked it out, and yes, I'm very intrigued by it. I'd love to hear my co-host's thoughts on it.
Okay, maybe we can wait on that till tomorrow, and then Phantom Galaxies has a lot of updates that I definitely want to share with you guys. Here's the last gaming portion I want to get to. Here's a little bit that was teased from Shrapnel here today. It looks like some gameplay. Oh, I don't know what the hell the deal is with the streaming today. I was attempting to get you guys some Shrapnel gameplay, but it looks like you could loot a dead body there for NFTs. And that's the extraction portion. Of course, you got to get in, get out if you can. All right. CyberKongz had a interesting update here with Genkai and Saga. They're saying like storytelling element here to their ecosystem. With Saga, our community is given the power to influence over storytelling. Holders can submit their CyberKongz assets for a chance to become characters in Nikea, as well as be featured in merchandise and both physical and digital collectibles. Community members will then have the opportunity to vote on their favorite assets used in the storytelling. We begin this launch with Genkai. 10 different character archetypes, each playing an important role within our lore. Starting today, you can submit your Genkai for a chance to fill one of these archetypes. Any thoughts on this release from CyberKongz Genkai?
They're always doing interesting stuff. I just wish I was more involved. You know, I've never been, so I just look from the sidelines. But that's speaking of like Web3 native IP builders with a strong community. Yes, I will always support these guys. You know, like I'll always be looking on and see what they're doing, clapping, cheering them on. This is exactly what I'm about.
It feels like CyberKongz and OniForce are attempting kind of the same thing here, where they're trying to build out their lore and also have the community be a part of that. I think OniForce is trying to do a little bit of that same piece here, and you can see Saga. I've got the website up on the screen. Play a role in the upcoming lore-based storytelling. So, Gif, any thoughts on this release?
Honestly, no. I think it's cool, but I'm just haven't been paying enough attention, and so I'm just not deep into it either, man. Unfortunately, but hey, I think that seeing their new direction, pushing towards anime and away from pixel art, I think is cool. I think it's cool. I think the art's decent.
All right, cool. Great thoughts there from
sorry. I'm just not that deep into it, and I don't want to spend a lot of time like giving opinions if I'm not that deep into it.
That's fair. All right, I want to give you guys a quick update, and I want y'all's thoughts on everything from last week. We're on kind of a Gordon Gunner hangover moment, in my opinion, where last week was the drama was thick, the pricing and volume action were thick, and really we haven't seen as much this week. I'm going to pull up some stats as well here for y'all. So you see last week kind of popped off on the weekly chart. This is ETH volume. Behind this little arrow is kind of where we're at. So you see actually this is daily. So you can see we had a spike last week and we've since fallen back to the levels that we were at previous to the Gordon buying spree around that. I think there was some anticipation maybe, but also on the price front, man. And you see, and I don't want to point out Cool Cats, but the only reason I'm doing so is because last week I was like, Friday I'll probably sell Cool Cat sitting at 1.4. It's up 250%. I probably should have listened to my own advice there. But Cool Cats is just an example of the, I guess, roller coaster that all of these projects have been on. So this is pre-Gordon era. You can see this price sitting about 1 ETH, maybe a little bit less here beforehand, and you can see it topped off at about 1.4, and this goes to a majority of the collections that were picked up last week. If I pull out World of Women, most likely it looks the same here. 7 days. Okay, so not as much activity there, and it hasn't fallen as far. But guys, in general, I think the whole thing I'm trying to kind of get at is last week we were hoping maybe it would continue into this week, at least be kind of stable. And we haven't seen that across a lot of the collections that were purchased. A lot of them look like a BART, basically, just up, over, down. And go ahead.
Yeah, I think some people expected that, right? Like I definitely didn't think it was gonna light a fuse and bring back the bull market. I think what happened there is that he went after some serious grails and other people that had liquidity that were also eyeing this stuff and got fearful that they might lose out, and so they decided to jump in, since Gordon Gunner did it too, and that's fine. But yeah, I wasn't under no impression that this was gonna be continued. I'm sure, like NFT Stat said, like it could happen, like for somebody else, right? Especially if they're engagement farming or looking for that, right? Because it did produce like a lot of clout, right, from somebody that's already really well known in the space. But other than that, I don't know. I still, like I've said before, I don't want to rain on y'all's parade, but we still got some stuff to get through.
Gif, I want your take here as well. I think, looking across the collections, maybe some aren't as down bad from the local top that we saw from last week. There, other ones that I'm looking at, like CloneX, for example, I think were bought. You can see on the 30-day, it's not a full retracement.
No,
right?
we took a step up.
Step up, but it's not
a step up.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
I'll say this as well. Huda was talking about two things. One, the blur drop is going to be super important. Do we take a step up or a step down? That by far is what I'm looking at the most. And then two, Pudgy Penguins basically didn't do just ranged that entire round. You can see it maybe got pumped, but this was way before Goner. So let's go back 7 days. They're just ranging. And you saw this in Mutant Apes and a couple other collections. These are the collections I think that are more indicator of the health of the industry right now than the up down that we saw with a lot of crazy shit last week.
Yeah, a lot of the crazy shit was around projects that had extremely thin floors and probably not a lot of volume. And so you see what one catalyst, the impact that it can have, right? To me, it just shows again, like we're kind of sitting on a tinderbox, right? Because when the fires really start to get lit, this is what we've been talking about and watching for the last almost a year, at least 6 months, which is the floors are getting very thin, very, very thin. Fewer listed on a lot of these big OG collections. And it doesn't take that much volume to send a lot of these fucking 2, 3, 4, 5x. And so that's a sort of tinderbox moment. So just like, again, we've seen these parabolic fucking moves, and then we saw the parabolic moves downward, when Blur started farming and the bear really set in and liquidity left the space. You can absolutely see that shit happening again. Without even that much new liquidity. Like, yes, more liquidity helps, but there's so much sitting on the sidelines too, that momentum begets sentiment, and that chain reaction can just go crazy. So once things really pick up and we get some bigger macro catalysts or some bigger headlines like BlackRock ETFs with new liquidity, just imagine what's possible. Because this is literally just Gordon Goner, doing what he can do by himself.
Who was talking about the MadLads? And I think it might have been Huda, but the MadLads connection to Saudi Arabia is very, very interesting.
That is, yeah. The international narratives
compared to a lot of those guys.
Yeah, international narratives in general are just something that we are trying to get more into. And again, any help from y'all in terms of links or resources or alpha to get into Asian markets and alpha, and also, Middle East is going to be a big player. Dubai, specifically Saudi Arabia. Yeah, the international part of this, because it is a global phenomenon and a global community, a global technology at the end of the day. Those international narratives are going to be so big in this next cycle.
Yeah, I agree with you. However, when it comes to the Middle East, I'm a little more vigilant or suspicious. I think the Dubai narrative has really been pushed by the digital nomad / expat community, right? Because of its tax incentives, and benefits. Having said that, I just do happen to have several friends from that region, and I'm by no means an expert, but I know enough to know that they can switch gears on you very quickly. So I've never really even considered it as an option for myself. Whenever people or projects are like, oh, we're based in Dubai, and we don't have the limitations that you all do, right? And we're gonna have less tax burdens, and so we're gonna be able to do more. I have a hard time buying it. My response is always for now, until they decide to change the flow of things. And that's just my point of view, when it comes to this. I know people love to tout it. Like, when it comes to Asia, I think it's different, because you're not just dealing with one country. I know Middle East also very vast region with different countries, but it's really a select few that can offer these incentives and is trying to attract this liquidity and all these builders to their region, and good for them. I'm all for it. I just think, when it comes to the financial structures and the tax incentives, I'm much more bullish on Asia, the Asia Pacific region, and even Europe, in some of these like smaller countries, right? Yeah, it's just my 2 cents there.
No, I love that. Yeah, the Asia Pacific territory for sure seems to have a gigantic appetite for what's coming.
Yeah, I feel like with the Middle East, you can end up in like this Hotel California situation, right? It's like check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. Yeah, tread lightly.
I love it, man. All right, here's my last question. I guess we do have a Blur airdrop here, and I want to make sure I get the correct day because it's in, I think, about a week, almost to the day. But I need to make sure. Let me see if I can get this. Searching Blur airdrop on X is probably not the way to go. That's going to be. Oh, never mind. I got it right away. November 20th. So we got 6 days here until the Blur airdrop.
X's search functionality is actually pretty good. It's still
tokens.
It still catalogs a bunch of scammy content. So you do have that. It doesn't do a good enough job filtering out the scammy stuff, but it does do a pretty good job of highlighting the important stuff too. So give him credit.
I'll give him a little bit of credit. We know Gif's a little bit of an Elon fanboy. I'll give him credit here. All right, Gif. All right. I do have a poll that I'm going to throw here. I'm going to say post Blur airdrop. Do we go up? Do we go down? And that's always kind of just a fun combo to have. I want to keep those kind of debates a little bit light, but it is important, right? If like where the fuck are we headed here? Like something like a Cool Cats that I brought up, although On-Chain Monkeys, I think I brought up there, Sappy Seals, those projects saw a big step down, but there were some that took a Gordon bump and are kind of just hanging out, but if the Blur airdrop goes poorly, we might be at the exact levels that we were earlier. So I'll open that up to conversation, then Gifdead can shill his coffins here in just a moment. So I got the poll up. Post Blur airdrop, down or up? I need y'all's answer right about now.
I think it's going to be a brief pump, especially for like the collections that everybody's vying for. I think like that's where the liquidity is going to be spent, and then down, baby.
So brief as in a week? Is that are you talking about like?
I'd give it like a month, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, But yeah, I don't think this is going to be the fuse at all.
I agree. I think that what it does do is it contributes to positive momentum over the holiday season and into the new year. So I don't see it having like lighting that fuse, like Biggie's saying. Like I don't see it having like a massive sort of immediate impact like Gordon Goner doing his thing where you saw like a clear spike. Maybe you'll get a little bit of that, but I think it's more just like slower upward, momentum, just contributing to that over the next few months and helping us hopefully maintain and build on some positive momentum through the end of the year and into 2024.
All right, so I feel like my co-hosts up here are kind of just balancing on the fence here. They're not telling me one way or the other.
No, I think it's positive. I just don't think it has that sort of like massive pump.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. We're going to go up directly after it, and within 48 hours, that shit is going to be fucking down. Straight up. We're going to pump this shit to the moon, and then
Zeneca's going to sell. Zeneca's going to be ready to just sell and fucking exit liquidity.
I'm with you, Zeneca.
Nobody wants to be fucking the dump exit liquidity for fucking, like Machi, is going to dump fast. He's got his own project and his own, other token to pump. But yeah, man, I think, long term, when do we go up? It's all about that burr. Until the fucking machine goes burr, I don't give a fuck what happens in this space. We're not going up. We're just
all right.
These ups and downs, stair stepping, whatever.
Okay, Coffins is going up. What's up, Gifdead?
Squashman just fucking pointed out that Oni Force's main handle, which has a ton of followers, just reposted that all the Oni Force can claim during the pre-sale. This is big, man. This is actually really big for me, for the collection, for Coffins. This is huge. I am super, super appreciative to the Oni fam and specifically Art Snitch and Starlordy who gave the blessing. So this is the post. shared that I received the blessing to snapshot and add all of the OniForce holders to the allow list for the pre-sale that's live right now. And they said, yes, go ahead. You can share that out. And they just fucking posted it from the main account. Almost 100,000 followers on that main account. That's fucking huge. Go put some love on that. I'm going to share it in the comments. If y'all can help run this up and help get it to more OniForce in front of more people, please go comment, show some love on it. Anything, just it just means so much, man. This is the type of shit that actually, you know, turns the needle, gets it out in front of more people, and lets people know about the cool shit that we're working on. So thank you for all of y'all who are minting, engaging, this type of stuff, sharing this stuff out, helping the OniForce and the DBs community know that they're all on there. So that's fucking dope.
All right, it's official. We need this term. We talk about it enough. We've talked about trying to have a term to associate somebody from the main account, giving some respect to some type of activation. We need a fucking term by the end of this episode, or at least by tomorrow, because I just need it, because this is a great example of it. Yeah, big shout out to Oni. I'll drop that here in the chat as well. Oh, you already did. Okay, perfect. All right.
Well, I agree. It would be good to have some kind of shorthand for it, like a term.
Need it.
Yeah. To me, like, it comes down to some kind of like intention, authenticity, belief in the space, you know.
It's like
so
an
like, I don't know.
Adoption. It's like you're getting adopted.
Official. Yeah. Official. Yeah.
Like, you're actually mine. You're not just like some random, you know, thing. Redheaded stepchild, I think, is the great way to put it. All right, I'm going to close this poll out here in just a moment. Up or down post blur airdrop. That is happening in about 6 days, guys. So we're going to have some drama here over the next week in where we go. I'm sure there's going to be some action. All right, real quick, we're here for about another 5 minutes. I'm going to get into some of these last pieces. So again, that XRP news from yesterday was fake here about the BlackRock XRP trust entity that was created in Delaware. We also saw meme coins continue to rip, or at least the meme coin from the Captain's ecosystem. So, man, if you took a shot every time we talked about meme coin this year, you'd be on the floor. And also an alcoholic. But yeah, meme coins are just this ecosystem is just wild, man. Like, up only for a majority of the year, which in some other collections have seen some severely negative drops. Their holders have been severely rewarded, really, really well. Any takes on meme coin here?
Wish I took it more seriously, and it's an interesting thing. Like, you know, we use the saying, do you want to be right or do you want to make money all the time? And I have a bias towards projects that I don't feel like are cool art, and so I'm not always good at looking past what I think is not cool art to understand. Like, I'm just kind of like, I don't really fuck with that. It's not my style. I don't really think it's that dope. I don't think they really like created something that's beautiful or interesting enough visually. So my visual aesthetic bias oftentimes affects my ability to get into projects like meme coin, because I thought the captains were kind of whack, and the potatoes, I was like,
I wonder if that's not a carryover from 2021, where that was a primary indicator. In a lot of ways.
So it's more of like my own life path as a creative. You know, I came into the whole space as a creative artist, interested in art primarily, and I've always been obsessed with art and aesthetics and visuals and design. So that it's more so just my own preference, and coming in through the lens of being a creator interested in art and the creative side of this, more so than you, Q. You came in more as a trader, more on the market side. So like, you're probably less affected by visual bias than I am, is what I'm saying. And so I'm noticing my own bias and weakness is that a lot of times I can lose out on opportunities and fade things because of my aesthetic principles or whatever, you know.
NFTs to me were an added feature on top of a financial stack.
Yeah.
A lot of people that came in saw NFTs as or DeFi now, or tokens, as an addition to an NFT stack or culture stack, whatever the hell that you. Yeah, I viewed that entirely different. I was like, holy shit, look at this cool innovation on top of what is primarily a financial stack. So yeah, great. That's interesting. Biggie, any takes here? I'm going to talk about MadLads and then we're up out of here. And anything else you want to drop as well, bro?
No, I mean, I owned potatoes early on. Got the opportunity to stake. I didn't do it. Eventually, I flipped out of it. I honestly, and I knew. I was very cognizant. Strong team, strong brand, Asia-based, token incoming.
Oof.
Are you willing to miss out or not? And I said yes, and I'm okay with that. And I'm very happy for my friends that have been there since day one. Like, that's how you have to, man. Like, you can't get.
What stopped you? What stopped you from pulling the trigger?
Not pulling the trigger. I just knew it was back then. It was going to be a while, right? Like you like, I don't know, like have to like fucking steak potatoes have been like there for almost a year. You know,
unrevealed.
You know, exactly. And again, like, if you're going to commit to a project like that, then you got to be on it. Like, you got to be on the Discord. You cannot miss a fucking announcement. You got to see if there's anything that you need to do on chain or off chain to participate. Like, you really do have to be like part of the ecosystem, right? And like, that's something I wasn't willing to do. And so at some point I decided to cut loose and say like, okay, fine, I took my profits and I was fine. And yes, of course, like, people have this tendency to like look back, right? And I don't know where it is that I learned that. Like, I really, it's funny, but like, yeah, I always reference Lot's wife, the Bible, right? Like, don't fucking look back. Like, it was just really ingrained in me with a lot of different life experiences. And I think people would be better served by just acknowledging that and accepting that. I understand like FOMO and like, you know, feeling like you missed out. And again, like, you know, loss bias, all these things come into play in this psychological fucking warfare that we're in. But you really have to like pick what projects you're going to double down on and really commit to, and which ones you're not. And like, for me, this one was one where I was like, I wasn't willing to, and I knew that there would be, you know, a loss to that and maybe a gain. You know, maybe because I did that, I was able to get into Winds of Yawanawa, right? There's an opportunity cost always. I was just not willing to play that game. I really don't like to be involved in too many projects that, I don't want to call it string you along, but they require that commitment, right? Like, that you just have to be there like a fucking hawk all the time. I got a life to live, bro. So, you know,
yeah,
I missed
great takes. Great. Another great breakdown from the psychological perspective of being in this space, to be honest. Gif, I'm going to briefly fly through this MadLads piece because I do think it's worth mentioning. Do you have any last thoughts on what Biggie was saying?
No, man, I agree. You know, and I think, again, for me, the reason why I kind of made that call, like, I'm not really going to get into this early and then miss the boat, was just what I'm understanding and coming to terms with being my own aesthetic biases and maybe a weakness, honestly, to focus too heavily on the visual art layer and not always without always putting enough due diligence into understanding the financial layers or the other utilities or aspects for these projects. So yeah, I agree.
The day I learned the opposite of that was Mechaverse. I was like, Mechaverse looks awesome, but there's nothing here. like at the time, Mechaverse looked like an amazing 3D figurine that had not existed, and that did not pan out, obviously, and it was very hollow. So all right, Nick's giving Biggie some love real quick. This is very interesting. MadLads we brought up here yesterday on the Daily Rehash, talking about them running up and being one of the biggest projects now in Solana. Like, they are, if not the number one, they're competing with number one here. And it has a lot to do with the NFT backpack here. This is going to be a crypto exchange, and they just added the general counsel from FTX. So a lot of this speculation might, yeah. This is how fucking crazy this space
Not
is.
a good thing.
Depends. Was it post SPF or pre?
Were you at the orgy? That's
yes.
what I want to know. Were you at the orgies?
Did you get a piece of Adderall from Caroline? All right. The story here is the NFT wallet app Backpack will launch a crypto exchange based in Dubai. The company has added former FTX general counsel Can Sun to lead the exchange, and now Backpack's associated NFT project has soared to an all-time price. So again, this is a really great example of a project that is not running off, the aesthetic of the actual PFP itself, but maybe all of these other things that have to do with what's going on in that ecosystem.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you were betting on Solana and you wanted to collect NFTs, MadLads was a no-brainer. It reminds me that there was another one. Remember, I don't even know what happened. I probably still have one. Shadow, or was it Shadow? Remember trying to do like scalability or servers or something, some type of utility on Solana. Like, yeah, that's the Shadow token. I forget what the hacker or something. Help me out, people.
No idea.
Yeah, but
what I
84.
see here is incredible positioning that was assisted and teed up by Frank DeGods. So they did a good job, created a cool, interesting project that was good enough on Solana, stuck to it, kept building their community and their tech and their utility. Frank left a huge void. They said, well, we're staying, kept building. And now you've got MadLads, Claynosaurs. That's it. I mean, like, we cover Solana as best we can. And there's been a couple others over the past that people bring up. But honestly, the two that stand out, that keep getting brought up in every single conversation as like, these are the cool, good, interesting Solana PFP NFT projects, MadLads and Claynosaurs. And there's not much else. And there's going to be a ton of volume incoming in the next cycle. You already see Solana starting to pop off. There's going to be people that are going to be speculating on NFTs and JPEGs on Solana. And there's not going to be a lot of great projects. There's going to be a ton of scams. There's going to be a bunch of new ones that are mostly shit. And then there's going to be these two fucking giants. They're going to own the Solana NFT space. That's what I see.
Dude, the other thing I see on this, and I got to make sure my recency bias is not showing here, but Magic Eden might be in the top 3 winners of all of 2023 for me. Like, holy shit, man. Like, those guys are getting after it. So, yeah, I agree with you on the Solana front specifically, GIF. Like, and it would be interesting if DeGods was still there, like what that ecosystem would look like, because then you'd have multiple, like, not to rival Ethereum.
You'd have DeGods, Utes, other things that maybe they're launching there as well, plus a couple others.
Yeah.
But again, like, not only did it solidify these top collections, it did that in multiple ways, because it probably also, when they left, when FTX happened, a lot of projects probably fell off or changed plans or decided not to launch there and launch. So, like, it really separated the few good ones who kept building there from everybody else.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, like, for everybody on Solana that wants to speculate on JPEGs, you're going to have a bunch of shit and then only 2 or 3 good projects. So they are really well fucking positioned at this point. So props to Claynosaurs, props to MadLads for sticking to it. And yeah, I wish I had both of those projects right now.
If they can somehow, I haven't seen whether the exchange is fully launched or what the volume, like what the potential volume is there. But I mean, if you can raise through an exchange and have this PFP project attached to it that offers like exchange fees, like the same BNB, Changpeng Zhao model that they ran with BNB token, sheesh, you got yourself a winner. So yeah, congrats on that. But Doggo is also up big in the Solana ecosystem that wasn't showing there. So, all right, Biggie, This is the last piece. Let's make it quick. I've got, or do you want to touch on both? Do you want to touch on Shadow Drive and this Solana art piece?
They're linked. I was fucking with my head, dude. I mean, it was Shadowy Supercoder. I don't know if any of you all recall this NFT. It's shit now. I think the reason is because you have to stake it to get the Shadow token, which apparently is not doing poorly. It's like at 30 cents right now. I need to check this like right after we're done here because I recall staking a few of these, and now I need to go diving into my Solana wallets. But you know, they're also like a project that came out as an NFT, but came with this infrastructure, right? Shadow Drive and its token. You know, for I guess like a Filecoin type of Arweave thing. Yeah. So we'll have to check, but I'm bullish on these types of projects, man. So yeah, I'm definitely MadLads is one I missed.
All right, Nix is making the Gifdead call of the gods back to Solana. That would be fucking amazing.
I think I called it first. I think I called it first.
I gave you the props there. All right. All right, let's roll out on Coffins GIF. We touched on it initially. We do have about a minute left in this show. So any last words on Coffins? I know the public sale starts soon, and then we can roll out.
All, how did you get into carpentry? That's what I want to know.
Dude, lots and lots of hard work in the garage. You know, power tools,
sawdust everywhere.
Lots of time at Bass Pro Shop and Home Depot.
It's a noble tradition.
A lot of time. Yeah, noble tradition of building coffins, and you too now can build your own because the pre-sale is live and the public sale goes live tomorrow. It's really cool, man. I have to shout out Nifty Kit because their tech is awesome. They have a free generator app, and that's what I use to kind of put this together, and that's what actually runs. So whenever you mint, you are running the algorithm that I created and programmed using the Nifty Kit app to generate a new piece of art. Dude, go back real quick to squat. Yeah, that one. The one in the top right. Yeah, go one more over, I think. Dude, this one is fucking so beautiful, man. And again, like I have no idea what the combinations are going to be. You create these in real time. They reveal immediately. That's part of what's so cool. On the Nifty Kit app, it takes about 5 minutes for the metadata to load on OpenSea if you want to see them there. But free now in the pre-sale. That ends tomorrow at 1 p.m. So again, hit me up, get me your wallets. I'm going to push an update to the allow list. One update today, and then that's it. And if you want to get 2 free claims, hit me up. And then tomorrow at 2 p.m. PST, the public sale goes live. And they're going to be extremely affordable because, again, it's inclusive, open gen. I just want people to have fun generating awesome coffins, awesome art, and it'll be open till December 14th. I don't know the total supply, and I don't know what they're going to look like. But, dude, seeing the ones people are making so far has been so fucking cool. Shout out to y'all who are already in it. I know these guys are. Big love to y'all. You didn't get token 1 this time, Biggie. Just got that one. And Easy got token 3 and 4. But y'all got some early tokens if you're minting in the pre-sale. And it's just so cool, man. I'm a little bit blown away because I really had a lot of concerns and didn't know what they were going to look like. And they look pretty fucking cool. So I'm very excited. And to keep talking about it over the coming days and weeks, that's it.
All right, y'all. We are getting up out of here. Biggie, last thoughts here.
No, I'm stoked for you, man. Like I love seeing friends like fucking put shit out. Like it inspires me to at some point do the same. And so,
you're putting your own shit out now, dude. Command A is your own thing, man. That you're building.
Yeah,
so you're building, bro. I mean, you're building this with us, but now you have your own thing that you get to do, and we support that.
I love you, man. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, bro.
The vibes are strong today on NFT Live. Y'all were awesome throughout the whole episode. I'm trying to get us out before that 120 mark here, but Easy and Crypto, Nick Swervis, Left Action House, Jack's Hideaway, Crypto Lorian, Marty McFly. You guys are fantastic. Cats Fanatic, great to see you more and more on these episodes. We will be back tomorrow, I believe, with Jared Post from 8nap to talk generative art. So that's going to be an amazing episode. I do have to get us out of here before this mark. We're setting that hard deadline. Thank you guys so much. our vibe, our tribe.